Welcome back, father lovers, to a brand new episode of Last Call at Pemberton's, the best damn How I Met Your Father podcast on the internet.
I like how you changed that to father lovers instead of mother lovers.
That's right. I am your host, Josh, here with my best bud, John. How you doing, man?
I mean, I'm as good as it gets on a beautiful, rainy Thursday morning.
There it is. All right, folks. So we are here for another episode of How I Met Your Father, Season 2, Episode 3, to be specific, The Reset Button. I thought this was a pretty damn good episode. I enjoyed it quite a bit, my friend.
I'm glad to see that Jesse was kind of back to his normal self.
Yeah, we didn't see Meredith at all. That was kind of nice.
I'm wondering if that's his kryptonite. Like when she's around, it's kind of like the the episode where they bring in Allison Hannigan's friend Michelle.
Yeah.
And, the what do they call it? Revertigo?
Yeah, Revertigo. Yeah. You know, I think that's a pretty good logical explanation. So as logical as anything else we could.
I mean, I got nothing else at this point except for Jesse's a whitey sniveling bitch.
Yeah, but he was a lot better in this one. So
he was much better in this one.
Hopefully,
we
continue
for everything that was going on anyway.
Yes, and there was a lot of interesting stuff going on. So let's get into talking about that. So this episode, like I said, Season 2, Episode 3, The Reset Button, aired February 7th of 2023, directed by Pamela Fryman, written by Don Diego, with the summary as such. After selling her portrait, Sophie recruits Jesse to help her impress the buyers. Val and Ellen go on a double date. Charlie forces a reluctant Sid and Hannah into a double date in reaction to Val. Quick question for you, John. Do I say the word Val weird to you? Because apparently somebody said I do, and I want to know if you think so.
Wait, say it again.
Val?
I don't think so. That's how I say Val.
Oh, okay. Because apparently they think you say it correctly and I say it incorrectly. But I'm like, it's just how I say it. I don't know.
But we both say Val.
I don't know, man. So everybody, hop on Twitter at Last Call at HIMYM and let me know. Am I saying it weird? Val.
I mean,
Val.
I don't know.
Let me know. I don't know. It's gonna be like Bull at some point.
I'm gonna be sitting at work today, just being like Val.
Somebody's gonna walk up to you and be like, "What are you doing? Are you okay?"
Bull.
It's like I think John's losing his mind.
Oh, that's dead by lust.
Yeah, that's fair.
You know me well enough. You know that's a true statement.
Absolutely. I'm not going to deny that. All right. So this episode, like most, breaks down nicely into three structures, which is something I really like about the way they've been doing this show. Giving all the characters, a nice little variety of things to do. So I have
spice.
Yeah, it does. So I have it nicely broken down for us to chat about. But first I wanted to, at the beginning of the episode, Future Sophie talks about how by the time she was 40, she had kissed literally all of her friends, even Ellen. And as long as this show is able to last, we will get to see all of that because, we're talking within a 10-year span, Now, will this show make it as long as How I Met Your Mother? I don't know, but if it can get close, we should get storylines where with all of those things happening. So I think that'll be.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah, I'm intrigued to see where it all goes with that specifically. So, all right. So I think we should talk about the Ellen, Rachel, and Val stuff first, mainly because that is where the Charlie stuff starts. Is inside of that at the beginning. I mean, and we don't.
It's a great place to start, but you're forgetting somebody.
Yeah, I mean, we were gonna get to him because that was pretty funny. Yeah.
I mean, I thought it was.
So yeah, let's dive into that section, John. All right. So the whole section of it starts off with right at the beginning of the episode, Charlie returning
yeah.
Vale's stuff, to her. We talked last episode about how we like that they're not forcing them together every episode. And again, they're not forcing them together in this episode, but they're not ignoring the fact that they were serious and now they're broken up. So they have to deal with a little bit of that fallout, and giving stuff back. That's a big part of it. So I like that
is a huge part.
Showcasing that. Yeah.
I love that she has a cat toy for when she's tripping on shrooms.
Yes.
And apparently they did not hesitate to say it like that either. I was like, oh shit.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Yeah, they were not shy about it at all. So Ellen then says, her and Rachel are supposed to be on this double date, but their friends kind of bailed out on them so they could go see Flubber the musical, and they actually show,
which we get
yeah. And I want to go see this.
I thought that was really funny.
Yeah.
I thought that too. I was like, if this was the thing, Josh and I would be there.
Yeah. I mean, we only got a little clip of it, but I'd go see that. It looked pretty funny.
It's a show about a man and his flub.
Yes, it's true. All right, John. So let's talk Ellen, Rachel, Vale, and Vale's date, Rando,
which I think is a really nice little throw out to they do it in How I Met Your Mother. Well, there was such a parade of women that sometimes you just forget who they are. So for the sake of the story, we'll call her blah blah.
Similar, obviously, to blah blah. Difference is Sophie never remembers this dude's name.
No, but doesn't remember his face either.
Yeah, which makes it that much
clever.
Yeah, because he never talks, and we never see his face. It's just a big emoji, and it changes with all of his. And that was some of the funniest stuff in the episode. Was it would flash over to him, and it would be a specific emotion, a specific emoji, and I would just die because I don't know. It seemed really fun. It was so simple.
I kind of want to go on a date and have a bunch of big emoji masks made and change them as my conversation is going.
I think your date might feel a little bit more like Alice did, about possibly getting murdered. But we're not talking about Alice right now. We are talking about Rando and all that stuff.
Rando.
Yeah. All right, John. So let me hear your thoughts on all this.
I liked this little bit of the story arc because, you get okay, so they enter the establishment because it's a restaurant of some sort, and they instantly all three get a triple jinx together.
Yeah.
And then Rando enters, and then they all sit down and they're having their meals, and things just go awry instantly.
Yeah. Because Rachel and Vale seem to hit it off at first because the whole jinx thing, they seem to okay, this will be a good combination, and then that goes like you said, that just goes south real fast.
Oh, so fast, and it's stupid too because it's all over astrology versus science, and I'm like,
yeah,
okay, now, I get it.
Who do you blame in this situation for how it kind of went? Because I know who I blame.
I don't blame either of them because this is an everyday thing. I see this shit on Facebook all the time. And it's more of there shouldn't be an argument about who's right or wrong because everybody believes something different. Why should it be somebody's fault for having a belief system and not wanting to say that somebody else is right?
I agree with that. However, I still put the blame on Rachel because of how she reacts to it. She treats Vale like what she believes is a complete and utter joke instead of just allowing her to believe what she wants and just accepting that.
I could agree. That I agree.
Yeah, because that's how the whole thing started. Is she essentially starts making fun of Vale?
Yes,
and then so of course in response, Vale claps back. Of course she's gonna. Well, she's not just going to stand back.
Clap back.
Hells yeah.
Look
She's
at
not just
you
going to
with your
stand
fucking
there.
modern lingo.
Damn right. You better believe it. I'm watching all these young 30-somethings. You know, I'm an old 30-something.
Fucking mint.
Fucking mint. But yeah, like she's not going to stay quiet when someone's insulting
well, she's
her.
not the kind of person to stay quiet anyway.
Yeah. Now, like, I think Val would have had no problem with her being a psychologist if she hadn't been made fun of in the first place.
100% agree with that, because I mean, at the end of their story, they agree that Ellen needs psychology help anyway with all the shit she's dealing with. And I like that like, Ellen is.
I didn't like how they resolved that, because it almost made Rachel seem correct and made Val almost seem like not correct, whereas it should be the other way around, because Val was the one being attacked first.
That is true.
You know,
I don't think Ellen needs as much help though as they both think she does, though. I think the buffer zone of Ellen being the person where they could target her just made it more. They walked all over her that entire date.
Yeah, and she doesn't like conflict, which I get. I'm not a big fan of conflict. You know, it just
I love conflict.
If I can avoid the drama of it all, I do. You know that.
See, that's my thing. I'll avoid it, but the moment I have to put my foot down, people don't like it.
That's fair. You know, Ellen obviously doesn't want to even get to the point where she has to put her foot down.
That is true. I mean, a lot of people are like that, though, and I can respect that.
Yeah. No, I mean, I absolutely get it. And so instead, she just redirects them to make fun of her. Which is like, I guess that's one way.
It worked.
She seems like the kind of person who is self-deprecating, you know, and kind of beats her own self up. And so she probably didn't think anything of it. She's like, yeah, you know, I talk trash about myself, you know. So
who does that remind you of?
Reminds me of a lot of people I know. But yeah, it's just they cover this a little bit in the previous episode, where she's you know concerned about whether you know whether or not she looks good, and then she like says she has a trash personality. Like she's down in herself already before this episode, and so that it seems normal by the time we get here.
Yeah. Like I said, it's a good story arc for Ellen because she's coming into her own. She's dealing with a lot. It gives us a decent shot of Rachel, but this is the first time that Val's really hung out with Ellen on her own.
With Ellen, yeah. And apparently, according to future Sophie, it's the last time the three of them will hang out as a trio.
Yes. And I thought that was...
I thought that was an interesting way to go, because they kind of lock themselves into a position where now they just if they decided down the road, hey, we should have the three of them do something. Well, no, you can't. At least not just the three of them. You know, it has to at least be somebody else there. Like one of the other, you know, from the group has to at least be there, because you literally just said they never hung out again as a trio.
Yep.
And then they opened up a story thread at the end of that section with future Sophie saying, you know, Ellen did eventually get a therapist, but Sophie somehow messed that up. And she's like, but that's a story for another time. So like they're weaving threads, just like what they used to do in How I Met Your Mother, which I liked.
They started that with a bunch of things in this episode.
Yeah.
You know, but we'll get to those as we're talking about different stories.
Yeah. So,
but speaking of different stories, let's flip the coin from Valentina and the trio to Charlie and his little adventure.
Oh yeah, let's do it.
So poor Charlie, while finding out that Ellen's going on her date, decides he's gonna clap back. He's going to pick up his cell phone, and he's also on dating apps. but he's not.
Yep. He's not.
It wasn't even his phone.
Nope, it was Ellen's phone, man.
It was Ellen's phone. But then he decides that he's going to put himself back out there and he's going to have himself a date. So he finds himself a date, which I was like, okay.
Yeah, I mean, he's an attractive looking guy. I don't think it would be that hard for him to find a date. Come on.
Well, and that's kind of what I was thinking. I'm like, if a guy like Charlie needs a dating app to find somebody to date, I have no chance in hell.
Right? I feel like Charlie, he's got the looks and everything. He's got the British accent, which people like. He doesn't have nearly the amount of confidence, though he does have some, but I feel like his confidence in himself at times is pretty low.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he's dealing with a lot of shit right now, though, too. He's a fish out of water.
Yeah.
He's used to being a rich guy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. If he had like a higher level of confidence, he would be a Barney.
Oh, totally.
Yeah. And I mean,
it's what I hadn't actually thought about that until you said that. That's kind of funny.
They even sort of make reference to him in this episode, not directly, but when Charlie walks in the suit and he's like, I feel like nobody in this city wears a suit. And I'm like, well, at least one person does.
I was going to say, at least one person does, but we don't know where Barney is at this point.
Well, I mean, at this very point, we did see him technically in the first episode.
We did.
And that's not too far away, according to what, the way future Sophie described it as being at the end of that year. So,
that is
but yeah,
true.
I do think that Charlie and Barney would kind of make a good pairing.
Dude, they'd be hilarious together.
Yeah, like Barney could be like his mentor. You know what I mean?
That would be funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Charlie gets himself a date, and then he talks Sid and Hannah of going out with him and having a 4-way date.
Yeah, and they're struggling with the whole long distance thing. They're trying to make their plans and talk. They're trying to see like, okay, how much is this going to cost to do this? Do we have enough airline miles? That was a big thing, and that becomes a big thing throughout this section of it. Is airline miles. Yeah.
So let's talk about Charlie's date and how she plays into this.
All right.
So she shows up. Charlie's not there yet, but Sid and Hannah get a chance to talk to her. Yeah. And her name is Alice.
Yes.
Great name. I like the name Alice. It's solid. Yeah. Now, Alice is a little
boring.
I didn't want to use the word boring. I was going to use the word. Ooh, I got nothing. Boring.
Yeah, I mean, she seems pretty introverted. They call her weird. She is kind of weird. I mean, to be honest, I don't know if there's specific reasons for it. I don't know. We don't dive into her character enough to know that, but she's a little odd, but she seems nice.
A little.
But she definitely doesn't seem like Charlie's type, like at all.
No.
Like we saw him with Valentina. That more outgoing kind of a person is his type. Like he needs somebody.
Valentina is also very pretty.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even think that
she wasn't.
I don't even think that would necessarily matter as much. I think it's her timidness that is the biggest part of it for him.
Yeah, she was so cool. And what was up with the free bread? Is this the
I don't know. Like I said, she's a little strange, But Sid and Hannah, they got wowed because apparently she runs some sort of airline miles program, or she's like the manager of some airline miles program.
Yeah.
And so they're like,
we need to get us some of those. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then Charlie finally shows up and the date pursues, and it's not a bad date for them. He realizes early on that she's not his type.
Yeah.
And Sid and Hannah are very adamant that he should give her a chance, though.
Yeah.
And he does, and I'll give him that. Although, I did catch one thing that kind of, I don't know if you caught it, but I caught it, and I was really disgusted by it. So they go, her and Hannah go to the bathroom together. And they come back, and she goes, she has her own toilet seat cover. To which she's slipping in the bag and then puts on the dinner table.
Yeah, because Hannah says it's reusable.
Yeah, because it's reusable.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, she's touching it, not washing her hands, puts it on the dinner table
too.
And I'm like, done. Right there, I would have been like, I need to leave.
Yeah. Yeah, that thing should have been packed up, put away, and then, yes, like you said, her hands should have been washed right then and there. Because that thing was all over the toilet, all over your butt and everything. Like, come on. Like, yeah.
So I was just kind of like, that ruined it for me right there. Had she had any demeaning, or not demeaning, saving factors about her, they all went out the door for me right there. Like I was like, this girl gotta go.
She could have fixed all that simply by, one, not putting it on the table, just putting it back in like her bag, and then pulling out like some hand sanitizer. You know what I mean? Boom.
Yes.
Wouldn't even had to make a big deal about it. It's just something that you do, and I could have moved past that.
Yep.
Yeah.
I could have moved past it too, but yeah, no. Just to be like, doo-doo-doo, poop, poop. And I'm like, go, bye, out.
Yep. Absolutely.
I would rather deal with the 3 seashells than deal with that bullshit.
Yeah, that doesn't sound pleasant. Never has sounded pleasant, and I don't ever want to. I don't ever want to experience the 3 seashells. No, thank you. Sylvester Stallone can deal with that, not me.
So at the end of that story arc, I mean, it all resolves. Charlie says,
Charlie's honest about it. He's like, and he's not mean or anything. He's just like,
no,
I don't think we're a good fit.
He doesn't think they're a good fit. He tells Hannah and Sid that he knew he was overdressed and that he wishes he could find like the perfect outfit that isn't overdoing it and stuff like that. And at the end of the story, they present him with like a nice shirt and pair of jeans and a pair of tidy whities because he can pull them off.
It's true, yeah. You did, however, skip over the the airline miles part of this.
Oh yeah.
Where, after everything resolves, apparently Hannah and Alice are now besties, and she goes over to her place apparently to play some Yahtzee. But something happens, and they don't want to tell us why. Tell us what and how they
made out. I guarantee it.
Something happened because they got
that Yahtzee heated up.
They got a few months worth of airline miles out of her. So
they got something out of her.
Something happened, and they're not willing to talk about it. So speculate as you will. Let us know your thoughts at Last Call. HIMYF.
Yeah. And then the major story arc of the hierarchy. We have Jesse and Sophie going on this amazing journey on her soul picture where she needs to go.
Let me ask you this question, John. When the woman at the gallery says that, you got to go and meet this rich couple, what was your first thought? Did you have any Did you have any
Captain
thoughts?
And Becky?
Okay, so you went to the Captain and Becky. Yep. I went, please let it be the G-Quocks. That was my thought.
Oh my God, I forgot about the G-Quocks.
I was so hoping that's where they would have gone with it. But it didn't go either of those directions, did it, John?
No. Instead it goes in a familiar. I love this actor. Anytime he's in something, except for the most recent Halloween movie, I'm always like, okay, he's funny.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know his name, but I see him in a lot of stuff.
I can never remember his name either. I just refer to him as Stuart. It's Stuart.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I gotcha. Yep.
Yeah. Look what I can do.
I loved how, like, when Sophie asks Jesse about like going to this, he's like, "No, I don't want to.
Nope.
We're not going to this. It'll be like a horror movie, you know? We're gonna get murdered."
And he's not wrong though, because that went through my mind as well. Where I'm like, for her, the person from the art gallery to be like, "Listen, you need to go to this person's house." What the fuck do you know about them that you're sending somebody random to somebody's house?
Like, all she knows is that they gave her a bunch of money.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? That's it. Yeah.
Trust me. Red flags went off in my head too, and I was like, Jesse's not wrong though. There are a lot of horror movies like that.
Jesse grabs the knife from behind the bar. He's like, "You're right." She's like, "No, you're not taking it." He's like, "You're right. It'll just get used against me anyways."
Yeah, it would just get used against me. So they show up, and the couple just seems slightly
off.
I was going to say eccentric.
I mean, that's the word that I think Sophie used at one point.
I believe she did.
Or maybe Jesse did. I don't remember. One of them used that word at one point.
And it's just, they're very different, yes.
Yeah, that's one way to put it.
And I don't want to ruin the storyline by like speeding through it, but like a series of events happen.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
Food is served. And,
yeah, it's a raw bison, which get out of here. Get out of here with the raw meat thing. I am not into that at all.
Well, I like how they played it off like at first, like they're cannibals. And then they're sex addicts.
Well, dude, like they had so many like dead animals, like taxidermied animals around that joint.
Oh, yeah.
It's kind of creepy, the amount that they had all over the place.
Well, I don't deny that, but like they played different horror tropes. There was the cannibal trope. There was the you're going to be a sex like tied away sex addict trope, and then there was the all of a sudden he's the all American bigotist fucking trope, and I'm like,
oh yeah,
wow, okay,
yeah, they took us for a ride, man, on this one.
And then I love how Sophie and Jesse devised the plan to steal the painting and get out.
Yeah.
And I'm like, great plan. Dude paid for the painting, but sure, take it, get out of there, whatever. And as Sophie's trying to distract him, she's like, you know, I hear what you're saying, but Jesse can't even steal the goddamn painting. And they pan over, and he's like...
as soon as the wife reveals that she was once the mayor of Baltimore, but is now this like subservient, just wife who isn't even allowed to own a phone or like anything. Sophie loses it. Like she's like, I can't fake this anymore. This is ridiculous.
Yeah. Sophie did. Sophie was like, what?
Yeah.
But I don't blame her for that.
I had an interesting catch about this. So they look up this guy's videos at one point because he reveals that he's like a YouTuber and he talks about men's rights and all this crap. And in the video that they watch at the end, he says, next up, is wiping your butt gay?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's like, it makes it, that's the kind of thing like a homophobe would say. But he's literally trying to bang Jesse. It's not just his wife. He was totally going to bang Jesse.
Oh, like 100%.
100%. He was giving him the eyes and everything. Yeah. So it's like, what is he pretending on that part? Like what's the deal? I don't know.
You're going to have to listen to his podcast to find out.
Yeah, that's okay. I'll pass.
Ooh,
but yeah, like
we can swap podcasts.
That's fair.
We'll go on his, he comes on ours.
But yeah, like you going back to what you were saying, I loved when she calls out Jesse and he's trying to take the paint off.
So hard. And then the guy's like, get out, and Jesse's like, I'm trying.
That's what I'm trying to do.
And then it's weird though, because I don't know if you noticed this or not, but once it's fully off the wall, and like Jesse's holding the painting talking to Sophie, it's just a wire hanging on the back. Yeah. So I don't understand why he couldn't get it off.
Well, I don't know, but it made the whole like he's not the manly man you think he is just that much funnier.
I mean, it really did, and I was like, okay, and like I said, I was glad to see more of our traditional Jesse back for this episode. He wasn't a whiny, sniveling little freaking bitch of a boy. He was more himself.
Yeah, he and Sophie were they were starting to bond again, which was nice.
They were until he walks away and Sophie realizes her painting was in the back of a taxi that's driving away.
Well, I mean, right up to that, because they leave with the painting and everything, and right up to then you could see they were bonding.
Very much.
Meredith calls and Sophie's okay with it, and that's why, like Sophie says, future Sophie says, that was the reset. That was them hitting the reset button.
Yeah,
and so I was like, okay, that's cool. And then she sets the painting on the back of the taxi, and it just drives off, and it's gone. For now, the painting is this show's yellow umbrella.
Yeah. I hadn't thought about that.
That's the important piece for this story is this painting.
Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, just like, the yellow umbrella was lost for years and then came back. This painting is going to be gone.
It had her initials on it, dude. TM, Tracy McGonnell.
TM, Ted Mosby. But it's this painting. Now we know exactly what this show's yellow umbrella is going to be. Is because, like, in the first season, we just assume she's had it the whole time because it's on her wall.
Yeah.
We have no reason to think otherwise.
That is true.
No, we learn otherwise here for that one. And then, she goes back home. She talks to Val. All three storylines kind of start to merge back together.
And there's a sentence here that I really, really like. It's when Rando comes out and Sophie's like, "What? How do you do it?" And Val's like, "Well, And then Sophie's like, "But you love Charlie." And Val's like, "You're right, I do. And we're going to end up together one day." But
her confidence was like incredible.
It reminded me of Schmidt from New Girl.
Yeah. Like
the first time he sees Cece, he's like, "I'm going to marry that girl.
I'm going to marry that girl."
Jar.
But yeah, she is confident. And then but she's like, and if I know Charlie, it's going to be a while before he finds another person. And little does she know at that moment he's finding the next person.
He
meets a woman.
Zing.
Yeah, he meets somebody. We don't know who she is yet, but he meets somebody at the bar, and it's gonna be interesting, John. It's gonna be interesting.
It's gonna be very interesting.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that's the episode. A lot of interesting stuff going on. Season 2, episode 3, the reset button. What are your final thoughts? What are your overall thoughts on the episode?
Overall, I thought it was a really good episode. I thought it was really cute to see like the double date storyline kind of parallel with one another. Charlie's on a double date. Hannah's on a date, kind of, or not Hannah. Sorry, why did I say Hannah?
Well, technically, Hannah.
Ellen.
Hannah and Sid are on a date. Yeah.
Ellen was on like kind of a date with like her whole thing, and like they were doing like the double there as well, and I was just like, it was a really cool little parallel. And then you got the whole kind of double date-ish thing going on. Sophie's painting. Yeah,
I didn't think about that. You're right. All three of them technically had like double date couple type things going on.
Yeah. Yeah, because Sophie kept getting so butthurt. They were trying to like fuck Jetsy, and she's like, "What about me?" And they're like, "No."
Which it's like, are you guys blind? Like,
right?
No offense. I mean, Jesse's a fine looking dude, but like, come on, Hillary Duff,
right?
Come on, man. Like,
Hillary,
yeah,
Hillary.
Oh, it's something we didn't mention that I thought was really funny. When Rando comes walking out of the bedroom naked, obviously he's still got the emoji head,
And
they use
eggplant.
They use the eggplant and then the peach for his butt. And I thought that was a great use of those things, and it is like a callback to when we first meet Charlie, because the same kind of like he comes out of the room naked, and that's when Sophie first meets him. So then that's how we first meet him. So I thought that was kind of interesting too. That's just
maybe we'll see more rando.
Maybe, dude, that'd be hilarious. He's just kind of there randomly. Rando's random. Random appearances. I'd be down with that. He's like like the episode starts. He's like leaving, just him and his big old smiley face head.
Yep.
Yeah. I would dig that quite a bit.
His dangling eggplant.
I think this is the best of the three so far.
So far, yes.
Yeah, like they've gotten progressively better for this season, I think.
You know what made it better though? Meredith wasn't in the episode.
I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong at all, sir.
Gotta get rid of the bee.
Yeah. Getting rid of the bee. She's a GDB.
But not a C.
Yeah, you're right. I do agree. I think having her not in the episode allowed the group to just kind of be a group, even though they were separated. But still, like I wasn't concerned at all about what is she gonna do? She's being annoying. This, that, I didn't care because she wasn't there. Yeah, so
100%.
Yeah, hopefully they can stay on this trajectory going into the next episode and after that. But at some point, it's gonna have to dip, in between. I feel like there's no way they're gonna be able to go better and better every single episode throughout the season. It's just, I don't think it's possible.
You don't think they can pull an all rise mix of episodes?
It is probably I don't know if there's any show that has ever done it, to be honest with you. So I don't know, man. Somewhere down the line, it's gonna dip. Hopefully not a lot, but it's gonna come down at some point. But all right, so I guess that's all we got for this episode. John, why don't you let everybody know where they can find you?
Ooh, hop on over at Twitter. Find me right here at Simply Saying J1. I don't post as much as this guy over here, but every once in a while I get kind of active. I have a blog. I have a podcast. I had to think about what it was called there for a second, even though we're recording one right now.
You have one of these things?
I have one of these things. Yeah, I do stuff.
All right. Yeah, you can check him out there, guys. Just do it.
No, don't.
Do it.
Don't do it.
Show him all the love. Let him know.
Show me no love.
That you appreciate everything that he is.
And what it's all about.
Oh, and by the way, to the person who asked, yes, his number is that high.
Wait, what?
Oh yeah.
Somebody
had sent me an anonymous message and said, I love the show, but is John's number actually that high? The answer is yes, folks.
Oh God, sorry. Yeah, no, it's up there. I had some fun times, not gonna lie.
Yeah, absolutely.
And whoever keeps hitting up Josh, out yourself, damn it. We want to know who you are.
It's true. I do. But you can catch me on Twitter at Movie Blog Merc. You can check it right down there at the bottom of the screen. If you are watching this on video, you are on the Merc with the Movie Blog YouTube channel. So be sure to hit that like button, smash that subscribe button, and click that little bell wherever it may be on the screen. If you're listening to us on audio, you can check us out on anchor.fm/last call HIMYM. And while you're there, why don't you leave us a voice message? We'd love to hear your beautiful voices, man. We can play it on the air and kind of discuss whatever it is you got to talk about. And if you're on Apple Podcasts and you feel like leaving us a 5-star review, we will read that out on air as we'll give you a shout out. So be sure to do that. And check us out on Twitter and Instagram at Last Call HIMYM. That's where we are. That's what we do. We like to post things, and I hope you like what we do. So yeah, I think that about wraps everything up here, John. I think that's all I got for him. What do you got for him?
That's the way the cookie crumbles.
Oh,
That doesn't sound right. That's Walter Cronkite. You don't have to go home, but you can't listen here.
catch you guys next time.